Hello and welcome, this is Sage Blue. Excited to show you a Group A touring car race. It's one of the firsts in this video for me. Not too much wheel spin, pretty reasonable start. Just trying to get the slipstream here off the fellow Mercedes. Now this follows on the previous videos testing this car, the Mercedes 190e DTM, classic Group A touring car. Side by side with the Sierra, getting ahead now. Mercedes 1.2. Really feathering the throttle here, out of the corners in particular. Car handles the few bumps that I've noticed on this track. It handles those bumps really well, which is good to see. Just makes the car all the more enjoyable to drive. I've reduced the brake pressures a lot with this car. No need to slam on heavy brakes on a smooth flowing circuit like this. Trying to keep the car as straight as possible coming out of the corners to minimise wheel spin. Tyre degradation is really high with the rear tyres if you're not careful with the throttle and how you angle the car coming out of the corners. Okay, I'll try and see if I can take this car on the outside. Risking the rear tyres a little bit for this pass, but it's worth it. Now in the lead. It's good to see these bumps don't throw off this car too easily. Okay, the tail wanted to kick out there, so I used the throttle a touch too much, but not a huge amount. Running a bit wide, cutting him off. Okay, bit tricky braking on the inside line into that tighter left-hander back there. Okay, tried to get his best run I could out of that corner. Now, one thing in these conditions, it's better to try and keep the speed up as much as possible through the corners. That may sound silly, but sometimes if you're feeling like the car's going to spin, you're going to probably reduce speed to avoid it. And accelerating out of the slower than usual speeds, it's trickier to get the power down at lower speeds than higher speeds. With this car, it's So try and be as smooth as possible on this circuit. Now this circuit is Brno in the Czech Republic. It's where I did the previous test of this car in the previous 2 videos. Thinking since it's such a smooth flowing circuit, it's a great circuit to learn how to throttle this car, and once you get a good rhythm, it's a great track to drive on. Not sure how this track would translate for an open wheeler, especially Formula 1 or Formula A and B. It'd probably still be a lot of fun, I'd imagine. Those cars stick to the road very well. For touring cars like these old ones, it's a lot more about muscling the car around the corners. Now back there in that corner, that was an example of using a bit too much throttle. A bit too wide. Lost my lead now. It's easy to lose your rhythm on this circuit, so practice makes perfect. Not so happy with that lap because they clearly closed on me, so you basically have to nurse your rear tyres in this race. Now, it's not just these Group A touring cars, which is a first for me on this channel. It's also the mixed weather conditions. That's another first in project cars for you all to see me drive this car in action. Okay, just trying to concentrate a little bit more again because I've lost my rhythm a little bit. Okay, that green Mercedes is looking racy behind me. Getting better at these corners as well. That Mercedes is trying to look around the outside. Bit optimistic, I think. Okay, that's a better run out of that final corner. 2/10 off my fastest lap. Okay, I used a bit too much throttle there. You can see the tail wanting to kick out of that right-hander a couple of times at least. it really does matter to look after your rear tyres. I remember watching touring cars back in the 90s and how race drivers would talk about having to look after their rear tyres regularly. They were in Ford Sierras, and there were a few other makes as well, BMW M3 I think, and to be able to experience it now like this, it's at least it gives me some idea of what it's like. So if you drive this car or a similar car like the Ford Sierra or BMW M3, it's you'll get an idea of how important it is to look after the rear tyres. It doesn't take away from the racing at all. It means you simply just have to nurture the car a lot more. Bit too much wheel spin there, as you can see. It's very slippery on those ripple strips on the exit. Don't make this video fool you into thinking it's not slippery. It is. It's just managing the steering angle just right when you're coming out of it, combined with how much throttle you have as well. The guard does move around quite a lot on these ripple strips. Now the forecast is for the weather to clear up, and you can see that gradually happening now. The rain's getting lighter, I think, than what it was at the start of this race. It's great to experience these race cars. Okay, way too much wheel spin there. Had to correct it and no doubt lost a bit of time to the others. You really do have to maintain a rhythm. Okay, way too much wheel spin there as well, so that's a good example. Not that I intended it, but it's a good example to show you. So I'm hoping by the end of the race I don't have, say, a left rear tyre that's just completely worn. Now, it's funny, taking some of these corners like these two, the left and right hander, it's actually easier to take them at higher speeds than what I sometimes do. When I go slower than I usually do, it actually gets trickier. Okay. I was getting a bit happy with the throttle there, and then you saw the tail kick out a bit. Just trying to focus a bit more while speaking to you. It's the tyres have warmed up quite a bit, finding they're gripping quite well. I think it's also that I'm getting used to the car that extra bit more. The weather effects are amazing, as you can see. as I said before, it's best to straighten the car up when exiting corners, to straighten the car up as soon as you can, so you can put the power down. It's it also, that way it'll let you take care of the rear tyres better as well if you do use the throttle correctly. It's if you come out wide through a corner, you try and maintain mid-corner speed and come out wide, you can't put down the power as soon as you could if you straighten the car up. Another thing is the sun can really block your vision in project cars, so these are the perfect conditions if you want to witness that. If the weather clears up in time, this is coming on to lap 8 now. Okay, so I got a bit happy with the throttle, then you saw the tail mid-corner kicking out. I try to avoid that, to look after the rear tyres. It'll be interesting to see if I can make it on fuel. I thought I'd given myself enough laps worth of fuel for this race. I think surely I should, but if I don't, you'll get to see what happens, which should spice up this race a bit. I've never actually run out of fuel. Now this corner is a bit unique, that right-hander back there. I think it's better to maintain mid-corner speed coming out of it, just by its nature. But generally, this sort of corner, it's better to straighten the car up sooner rather than later, probably. Wonder what will happen if I don't pit. Are there regulations that require a minimum amount of fuel? Okay, not pitting this time around. Okay, so they just delayed a lap for the pit stop. The engineer's not telling me off or anything, so the rear tyres are going a tiny bit, I think, unless it's just simply the lighter fuel load, because the car is moving around that extra bit more. Yeah, I should have a fair bit left for the end of the race. Next time I'll put in one more lap's worth of fuel at least. Okay, just lost a bit of concentration there. Let's the others catch up. They were a fair way behind before. That left-hander, it's very easy to lose the rear end, and also this right-hander. It's a BMW in second place now, so they've been squabbling. Okay, last lap, so I don't think I have to care about the tyres too much now. Okay, so happy with how that corner was taken. The car's really feeling quite light now. Just remember, the rear tyres are extremely important with this car, and it's most likely the same with the Ford Sierra. Not sure about the BMW, what that's like for power. Sorry about that pit board being up on the screen, but you get to see how it actually, project cars, how it actually behaves when you're light on fuel. Taking a tiny bit more risk with the rear tyres now. Probably should take a lot more. I don't think they're going to lose all their grip in just a few corners. At the end of this final lap, are you kidding me? Wow, could have almost lost the lead then. The car's feeling pretty good now. Could be also not just the fuel load, but the tyres perhaps still getting better. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed that race. It didn't dry up as I was hoping it to, but it did get lighter, I think, with the rain and the sun was coming out. So I hope you enjoyed those mixed weather conditions. And next time I'll try and show you more of a mixed weather race as well. Also, if you enjoyed this race, feel free to subscribe and like the video. There's plenty more racing as always that's coming up, so plenty to look forward to. More touring cars, looking into open wheelers as well, so it's going to be quite exciting. Looking forward to showing you all of this, different weather conditions, different cars and different tracks. So look forward to showing you all of that, and until next time.